But that's when the threats began. She got a call a few nights later from Josh after he texted her he had something important to tell her. Stupidly, she answered, and he began to say how he was going to kill her. He was going to show up at Leah's house when her parents were at work, holding a rope and a knife, and make her suffer like she had done to him. He eventually went on to say he was going to get her before she went into school because he knew exactly where she parked every morning, and her parents were never going to find him.
Hello guys, my name's LochieCar here, and we're going to be looking at some creepy stories animated. Now, before we get into this, I just want to say, last reaction videos was try not to laugh, and two of you decided, oh, Lachlan's fake laughing. No, that's not true. Look, I'm going to tell you this right now, it's try not to laugh, not try to fake laugh. Yeah? Now, I'm not going to tell you who they are because, you know, rules and stuff. But, guys, whenever I do these videos, I'm being real. Like, the try not to laugh challenge, I might have, what do you call it? Sense of humor. I've got a different sense of humor to everybody else, okay? Everyone's different. Everyone laughs at different things. So don't try and say to me that, oh, you were fake laughing. I was trying not to laugh. Okay? I'm just saying. Okay? Right, let's get into this. Creepy Stories Animated.
It was the summer after graduation, and Jennifer was up late packing for a camping trip with her friends. She had the window open as she sat there folding clothes when she suddenly saw a hand coming through the...
Whoa. A hand. Just imagine if you were just packing your stuff late at night and you saw a hand come out your window. Holy gosh, man. I was sort of shaking, like, forget it.
the gap in the screen of her window. Jennifer screamed and the hand flew back. She was stunned, but it could have just been her younger brother pranking her.
Could have been.
And looked out the window and saw the figure of a man staring back at
Oh,
her. Jennifer ran
jeez, I'm
into her
getting
brother's room
goosebumps.
but saw him there playing video games. They called the police, who came and searched the area, but they found nothing.
Yeah,
Officers warned her
vanished.
and her parents to lock the windows and doors, but the mother had a feeling that he would come back, and as it turns out, mother's intuition was right. She went outside and waited in the back porch, and after 20 minutes, she saw a man dressed in black in their backyard.
Oh.
He hid behind a tree and slowly worked his way towards Jennifer's window. The mother yelled something to the stranger and he took off running. Police came back out and again found no trace of him. Jennifer never opened that
Sneaky
window
little
again,
bastard.
not even the curtains. Her parents installed some motion detecting lights, and that seemed to be the end of that. About 6 months later, Jennifer and her friend got an apartment downtown together, excited as this was their first place outside of home and they were finally living in the city. The downside was that it was street parking only, and after a few weeks, Jennifer's car was broken into.
Probably by the same guy.
Nothing was taken, but a single rose was sat on the passenger seat.
What the
This
hell?
creeped her out for sure, but she vowed to be vigilant and safe. She always tried to park close to the entrance near the lights, but it was often difficult to get those spots and she would have to park farther away.
Further.
Things quickly began escalating at this point. Jennifer's car was broken into at least once a week. Most of the time, a flower was left, but once a pair of men's underwear was there instead. And even more strangely, a bag of Tootsie Rolls, weird because it was her favorite candy. This made Jennifer wonder if the person
jeez,
knew
I'm
her
getting goosebumps.
personally, and she started to become suspicious of everyone. There was a laundry machine in the basement of the apartment, and one day Jennifer went down to get a load that finished drying.
Oh no, that guy's gonna be there.
As she started to fold, she realized that all her bras and panties were gone. By the time the first letter arrived, she had already started making plans to move elsewhere. The letter described
I'm
the
shaking.
love
I'm
for
not
her
doing
had
that.
been going on for years. He noted
probably can't
things
see the
that
shaking.
proved he had been watching Jennifer closely.
This is real. I'm freaking out.
Not long after,
Don't you
Jennifer was
dare
able
say
to
that
arrange for another
I'm
friend to
faking it.
take over her
I'm not.
lease,
I'm being
and she
serious.
moved in with a new friend on the other side of the city. It was a secured building and had an underground parking garage that was only accessible to tenants. She felt more secure, and the extra money spent was well worth the peace of mind. Things were quiet for a few months, and then her roommate got a boyfriend. There was something odd about Ashley's new boyfriend, and her friends were wary of him from the very beginning. For
I reckon
one,
it's the
he reached
stalker.
out to her.
I
Another
reckon.
reason was that Matt was very good looking, and while Ashley was a wonderful person, she wasn't the type you would typically expect someone like him to date.
I
Ashley
reckon
was
the
thrilled. She
boyfriend
never had a
is the
boyfriend
stalker,
and really
maybe.
felt like he was her Prince Charming. Jennifer, however, thought he was weird and creepy the moment they met. She had deleted her Facebook account when the initial stalking began, but created a dummy account to learn more about Matt. It didn't look like he really knew any of his friends in real life. There were only pictures of himself, and the rest of the information was vague. Jennifer and her friends
Okay,
gently
this is not
tried to
scary,
discourage
this part.
Ashley from seeing Matt. He technically hadn't done anything wrong, but he was just so strange. She would immediately get defensive and would shut the conversation down. Matt started to spend more time at the apartment, and Jennifer found herself finding any excuse to avoid coming home. One day she came back home from work and found Matt on the couch, alone, drinking a beer. Ashley had been called into work and she told her that he could just hang out. Jennifer had no desire to spend any time with him, so she grabbed the beer and a snack and headed off to her room and shut the door. About 30 minutes or so, he knocked on Jennifer's door and suggested they watch some TV and get to know each other better because they both loved Ashley. Not wanting to engage in conversation, Jennifer focused on the movie. But at one point, she glanced over to Matt, and he was staring at her with a smile on his face.
That looks so
Jennifer
creepy.
snapped at him and said, "What?" as he just continued to smile and said, "I just can't believe it." Believed what? He said nothing and went back to watching the movie. She had no idea what he was talking about, but the interaction had every hair standing up on her body. She excused herself and locked the door to her room. Another month or so went on, and Jennifer had managed to avoid being home for much beyond sleeping and
Oh,
showering.
God.
Matt practically lived there and had even brought a bunch of his things into Ashley's room. Jennifer didn't want to move again, but was beginning to look for other options. On Ashley and Matt's 6-month anniversary, there was a huge bouquet of flowers on the table and an already opened card propped up next to it. Jennifer was curious, so she opened the card and her heart started beating through her chest. Without even reading the words Matt wrote, the handwriting was exactly the same as the one her stalker had
I
sent.
knew it.
Jennifer had kept them as
I knew
evidence
it.
and dug
That
them out
guy
of her
that
desk
was
for
the
comparison.
boyfriend
The handwriting was unique
was
and
the
identical.
same.
Matt was
The stalker.
Jennifer
Exactly.
called the police, and as they were on their way, she called Ashley and asked her to come over, terrified to tell her the truth because she knew that her heart would be shattered. The police took a statement from Jennifer and went to Ashley's work to get more information from her and ended up breaking the news. Apparently, Ashley called Matt after and left a furious message even though the cops told her not to say anything, and he completely disappeared after that. There was no Matt or anyone matching his resemblance at the place he said he worked. Ashley had never been to his apartment because he said he would be staying with his friends while trying to save money for a trip to Europe. His family lived out of state, and she said that she had never met a friend of his because he said they had a falling out because he was choosing to spend so much time with her. It was all lies, and in the end, she was dating a stranger. For all they knew,
Yep.
Matt may not have even been his real name. He had left the duffel bag in the apartment that was full of gym clothes, but in one compartment, there were about 10 pictures of Jennifer. All were taken from far away with the exception of one of her sleeping. The sheets were current, so it had to have been at the current apartment before she started locking her bedroom door. A few pictures dated back to before the incident at her parents' house, which was further evidence that it was him as well. 2 pairs of missing underwear were there, and Jennifer shudders to think of what he did with the rest. There was also a Starbucks lid with her red lipstick marks, and a necklace she hadn't even noticed she was missing. The police never tracked him down. Jennifer accepted an opportunity overseas and got out of there. But ever if Matt will ever resurface again.
Ooh. Okay.
Leah was a teenager living in New York. She was a competitive athlete in high school, and with recruiting
That's what happened to me. Like, my heart's beating. Like, let me check my heart rate on my Fitbit. It's only 96. But I feel like it's going faster than that. Ugh. Okay, let's keep watching.
mother suggested that she
second.
get a tutor. Leah had been going to him
I've already said that
regularly,
already, but
probably 3 times a week for a month, before she met Josh. Josh had the tutoring session after, and they would cross paths every week. It had never been more than a glance and a smile, as she was incredibly shy and terrified of boys. One day, her tutor had to change his schedule and decided to book them together. Leah was shocked and delighted when Josh started chatting with her afterwards and asked for her phone number. Eventually, they both began dating. Josh went to a Catholic school in another town, but because he lived in the same town as Leah did, he took the bus every morning from her school to his. This gave them most mornings together, and he was able to meet Leah's friends. She was a little taken aback when they didn't seem to like him. Leah realized that she's been spending less time with them and assumed they were just jealous that she had a boyfriend. As time went on, things got more serious in the relationship, and that's when things began to change. While they always talked regularly, Josh started getting over the top about staying in contact with Leah. He would make her stay on the phone with him all hours of the night until eventually her mom started taking her phone away before she went to sleep. This relationship also started taking a toll on her athletic career. She was too tired to spend extra time training and started to skip practices to see him, driving 30 minutes each way to his school. Eventually, Leah's friend sat her down and told her how unhealthy this relationship had become.
I knew this was
She had
gonna
isolated
happen.
herself from them, and her entire free time was spent with Josh. At this point, Leah wanted so badly to end the relationship. She had fallen out of love with him, and college applications were approaching. She had been scouted by no less than 10 colleges, and her plan was to attend Brown University, her dream school. Josh's obsession with their relationship had taken a huge toll on his grades, and Brown wasn't going to be an option.
Jesus!
Leah remembered telling him that was where she
He's
was
creepy
planning on
now.
going, and he freaked out, saying that he would never get in, and he begged her not to go. At the time, she was also recruited by the University of Illinois. Josh applied there in hopes that she would ditch Brown and go to Illinois with him, but that was the final straw. Leah ended things for good with Josh, assuming
Then
that
Josh
would
is
be
gonna
it.
do something
Because
bad.
he would take the bus from her school to his every morning, she still had to see him. His friends who took the bus with him yelled disgusting words at Leah. Josh had spread a rumor that Leah had apparently cheated on him with a bunch of guys and then ended the relationship. Leah spent months getting nasty messages accusing her of having STDs and also saying some horrifying things.
See, this is why, how should we put this? I'm in a really good relationship. I'm not in a relationship at the moment, but I've been in one before and nothing's happened seriously, but something like this should never happen to anyone. If this happens to anyone, I don't know what to say. Why are these people like this? I don't understand. Why is these people trying to freak out? I mean, why are people trying to freak out? Like, so, say if I got a girlfriend, right? Say if I got a girlfriend, and I didn't tell anyone, but everyone started freaking out, going, "Oh, Lachlan has a girlfriend. Oh, Lachlan has a girlfriend. Lachlan has a girlfriend. What did you hear that Lachlan has a girlfriend?" That needs to stop. Freaking out about stuff when, like, I don't freak out about anything because I don't care. I don't care what other people do. Like, seriously. But if you're one of those people who are in a relationship at the moment, just be careful not to be in these types of situations, because things will start to get really heavy for you. And if you're in a relationship and your boyfriend maybe finds another girl and then you get mad, don't go crazy about threatening them. Okay, that's just how it works. Okay, don't try and be like that. Okay, so I'm just warning you now. Don't do that. So that's how things can happen, and when police come, because it's getting too heavy. So, Barbie, don't do it. I haven't done it at all. Nothing's happened, but everyone keeps freaking out about if I got a girlfriend or not, because it's happened before. So I had a girlfriend beforehand, And back then, this was like 3 years ago now. I think it was in grade 7. Yeah, I was in grade 7 then. I had a girlfriend, and I get freaking out going, oh, look, you have a girlfriend. Oh, you dating, kissing, are you holding hands? I mean, that's alright, but it's kind of annoying, if you get what I mean. Okay, let's get back in the video.
Unfortunately, deleting Facebook was what set off the stalker tendencies
Yeah,
for
that's
Josh.
probably a good idea.
He wasn't able to see her face online anymore, so he started
Oof.
calling non-stop and sending desperate messages telling Leah that he loved her.
Nope.
While all of this was
See, like I
going
said,
on,
it's
Leah and
gonna
her
start
team
getting
was
heavy.
set to win the high school championship in volleyball. Josh showed up while Leah was competing and they saw each other. This shook Leah so badly that she ended up losing the title for her team, and it made her furious and heartbroken. Leah ended up picking up his call that same night and screamed at him, telling him to never contact her again. But that's when the threats began. She got a call a few nights later from Josh. After he texted her, he had something important to tell her. Stupidly, she answered, and he began to say how he was going to kill her. He was going to show up at Leah's house when her parents were at work, holding a rope and a knife, and make her suffer like she had done to him. He eventually went on to say he was going to get her before she went into school because he knew exactly where she parked every morning, and her parents were never going to find him. But what Josh didn't realize was that she had recorded what was being said the entire time and had it taped
Good.
onto her phone.
Good.
Leah hung up once she felt
And then
he said
report
enough.
it
The next
immediately to
morning,
the
she went into
police.
school extra early, much earlier than she figured he'd be there. Leah showed the school advisor the recording. She felt a deep-rooted shame as her mom listened to the recording like she had done something to bring this onto herself. The advisor was so alarmed that he told her to go to the police immediately.
Exactly.
Leah and
That's
her
like I
mother
said.
sat in the police station all day explaining the story of her relationship with Josh and how it got to this point. The police then drove to his high school and arrested him while he was in class. As she was
Awesome.
bringing food back to the police station for herself and her mom, she saw Josh in handcuffs, and he indeed looked like he wanted to kill her. Post-arrest, Leah got a restraining order against Josh, and he was sent to a mental institution for a short while. It's been 10 years since this happened. Leah moved across the country where this occurred, and she finally feels safe now that she's far away. But anytime she gets a blocked call or text from a number she doesn't know, a thought goes through her head that it's him.
Yeah, that's what I think so too. Third one.
I was texting this girl I met through Tinder, and I finally had a
Whew.
topic on movies. Nothing suspicious.
Man, these ones
about
are
this
like,
girl.
I mean, they're not
At
that
that
scary,
moment,
but
we decided
sometimes
to
they
go to a
are.
theater
They're a bit
after to
creepy.
watch Captain America: Winter Soldier. She said there was a cinema
Ooh,
nearby,
finally.
but I wasn't familiar with the area, so I used the GPS on my phone and she
Good
helped
idea.
me navigate. Once we got there, we started walking inside, and I realized, oh, I don't have my phone in my pocket. I must have left it in the car. So I started to walk back to get it. However, my date kept insisting I just leave it in the car because we were gonna miss the beginning of the film. I mean, it's true I didn't need to have my phone with me, especially since we're going to watch a movie. But for some reason I was feeling very paranoid about it, and I just got this new phone about a week or so. We went back and checked the car for about 10 minutes, but I couldn't find it. I asked her to check her jacket and her bag, but she said it wasn't there. A couple parked next to us, so I asked them to ring my number because I couldn't find it, and would you believe, it started to ring, but it was obviously coming from my date's handbag. Very interesting. She took my phone out and said, oh, I must have missed it. I thanked the couple and locked my car, and as I turned back around, she was walking the other way, so I ran up to catch up and asked what was going on, but she was being very dismissive and was barely talking to me. That's when I realized this wasn't an accident. This woman was trying to steal my phone. If this had gone according to her plan, she could have just pulled the, oh, I need to go to the restroom excuse and left during the movie. There's a big chance that she's done
No,
this
this
to other
guy's
people in the
smart,
past and
to be
will
quite
continue
honest.
to do so in the future, and just waiting for
Oh.
her next victim. So that was the last time I saw that woman, and I just drove home without her. See you later, thief.